James Caan, the tough but magnetic screen presence who became famous in The Godfather, died on July 6, 2022. To millions, he was the ultimate Hollywood tough guy with a vulnerable heart, but behind the fame his life was marked by financial chaos, broken marriages, addictions, and family battles that continue even now. When news broke that his estate was worth only $35,000, shock spread through Hollywood. How could one of the most recognizable actors of the past 50 years, who had starred in classics like The Godfather, Misery, Elf, and the hit show Las Vegas, leave behind so little? His son, Scott, quickly stepped in as executor, but his 4 siblings challenged him, convinced their father had hidden millions. The family fractured, accusations flew, and by 2024 legal fees alone had burned through $500,000. James Edmund Caan was born March 26, 1940, in the Bronx to Jewish immigrants from Germany who had fled Nazi terror. His father worked as a butcher in a small kosher shop that barely kept food on the table. Life in the Bronx in the 1940s was loud, tense, and often violent. Street fights were part of childhood, and James, called Jimmy back then, quickly learned how to protect himself. By 10, he was boxing and competing in rodeos, and though he wasn't the biggest kid, he had a wild energy that demanded attention. When his family moved to Sunnyside, Queens, he found the same struggles in a new setting. At 12, tired of being bullied, he began studying karate. By 16, after thousands of hours of training, he earned a black belt. That skill gave him respect and confidence, and it later fueled the raw intensity of his on-screen fights. He eventually achieved a 6th-degree black belt and even trained police units. At 16, Caan briefly escaped New York when he earned a football scholarship to Michigan State University. Though the school was a powerhouse in the 1950s, he was undersized at 165 pounds and endured repeated injuries. After one miserable semester of dislocated shoulders, freezing weather, and failed classes, he dropped out and returned to New York in 1957. He tried Hofstra University on Long Island, where he crossed paths with another restless kid from Queens, Francis Ford Coppola. The two became friends, and years later that connection would change Caan's life. At Hofstra he supported himself as a waiter, lifeguard, and bar bouncer, but his heart shifted toward acting. He joined the neighborhood playhouse under famed teacher Sanford Meisner, training intensely while scraping by with odd jobs. His first stage break came in 1960 in an off-Broadway production where he made $50 a week. More rejections followed, but he stuck with it. Small film roles trickled in, including a blink-and-you-miss-it appearance in Billy Wilder's Irma La Douse in 1963. His first real splash came in 1964's Lady in a Cage, where his brutal portrayal of a thug shocked audiences. That toughness became his trademark. In 1969, Coppola cast him in The Rain People as a brain-damaged ex-football player, and the performance won critical respect. Then came the role that defined him, Sonny Corleone in The Godfather. Coppola fought to cast him despite studio pressure. Caan's fiery, violent energy exploded on screen, and his fight scenes drew partly from his karate training. The film earned hundreds of millions and launched him into stardom. His performance was so vivid that he earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, though he lost to Joel Grey. Behind the success, however, Caan's personal life was unraveling. The pressure, the sudden fame, and cocaine use pulled him into a spiral that nearly derailed his career. Throughout the 1970s, he mixed successes and missteps. He gave acclaimed performances in The Gambler and Rollerball, but his off-screen life was chaotic. Injuries piled up as he insisted on doing his own stunts, and drug abuse deepened. Though he had already received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1978, his momentum stalled in the 1980s. His directorial debut, Hide in Plain Sight, flopped and he turned down major roles including Blade Runner. From 1982 to 1987 he virtually disappeared, lost to drugs, depression, and broken marriages. He even coached Little League Baseball just to stay grounded. When he returned it was with mixed results. Thief in 1981 and Gardens of Stone in 1987 hinted at his talent, but it was Misery in 1990 that fully revived him. Trapped in bed opposite Kathy Bates's terrifying Annie Wilkes, Caan delivered one of his strongest performances. At the same time, his personal life remained turbulent. He endured 4 divorces, accusations of drug use and domestic fights, child support battles, and even mob rumors. He associated with real gangsters, and his name surfaced in FBI wiretaps. Though he claimed it lent authenticity to his roles, it deepened his reputation as a dangerous man off-screen as well. Financial trouble haunted him throughout his life. Divorces cost millions. Gambling drained even more. By some reports, over $1 million lost in casinos during the 1980s. In 1994, he was arrested for waving a loaded gun during a fight and questioned after a man fell to his death from his fire escape. These incidents fed the tabloids and worsened his instability. He later said the 1980s nearly destroyed him, yet he kept coming back. In the 1990s he lightened up, surprising audiences with comedy in Honeymoon in Vegas and later Elf in 2003, where he played Will Ferrell's grumpy father. That role introduced him to a new generation, and his line "You sit on a throne of lies" became an internet meme long after. He earned steady paychecks in the NBC drama Las Vegas, which gave him financial stability in his 60s. Still, lawsuits, divorces, and health costs drained him. He had back surgery in 2015, battled COPD, and admitted to spending tens of thousands a month just supporting one of his sons. By the 2010s he appeared mostly in smaller films, though his performances still carried weight. In The Outsider in 2014, he played a mob boss with chilling authenticity. But by then his health was failing, and he was weary. When he died of a heart attack in 2022 at Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, he had been battling coronary disease and heart failure for years. He was 82. Tributes poured in, celebrating a 6-decade career, for Golden Globe nominations, and over 100 film and television appearances. He was laid to rest at Eden Memorial Park, leaving behind 5 children from 4 marriages. Then came the real shock: his estate. Court documents revealed it was valued at just $35,000, plus 2 small land parcels worth about $15,000 and $20,000. Scott, his son with Sheila Ryan, became executor. His 4 siblings were furious, convinced millions were hidden or diverted. They pointed to residuals from films like Elf and The Godfather that should have provided a steady income. Rumors spread of secret accounts and missing royalties. Family meetings erupted in shouting matches, one ending with Alexander storming out in rage. In October 2023, the IRS delivered another blow. Nearly $1 million in back taxes tied to a failed investment rollover dating back to 2015. Years earlier, Caan had tried to move $1.5 million from a hedge fund into an IRA, but the transaction violated IRS rules. The penalties consumed whatever was left.